Hello, welcome back to MCFC Connect. How are we all doing today? Today we are talking about Tijani Reijnders from AC Milan, now playing as a Man City player for the Club World Cup and hopefully for the next 5 years. We signed him on a very good fee, but today it's not necessarily about the fee, it's about what he is bringing to the team. Okay, what is Tijani Reijnders bringing to the squad is what Man City will be answering this season, but it's what I'm going to try and give you a look into today. And we'll start that by looking at whoscored.com. Whoscored.com, I use these guys very regularly for like stats and whatnot. But now then, this season, in terms of his goal output, he got 20 goal contributions. I believe whoscored.com got it slightly wrong though. I think he's actually got 15 assists and 15 goals, 5 assists. So a lot of goals, and even pitches in a little bit when it comes to the assists as well. But here we're mainly here to look at this, and we're here to look at this too. Key passes, finishing, concentration, all are some of his strength. Concentration is huge in any footballer. Keeping your head switched on, even if you're winning in like the last minutes of the game. Okay, just keeping locked in, not letting anything by you. Concentration is big. Not slipping up. Finishing, look, we need more finishers in this squad. I think Phil Foden was our second top scorer last season. If it wasn't him, maybe Kova or something. But the fact that Phil Foden was our second top scorer was crazy, by the way. Phil Foden had a big drop-off, as we all know, and I think he just about hit double-digit goals as well. I think him and Haaland were the only guys to hit double-digit goals. I think he literally got bang on 10. Tijani Reijnders last season, playing in a midfield role, got 15 goals for his team. But I also want to have a look at this. We'll touch on weaknesses in a moment. He can play in the DM. He can play in the central mid, and he can even play attacking mid if he needs to. Now you can see all of his games here. Now then, he seems to have played a bulk of his minutes in the DM position. And look, I do think he's going to play in a bit of a pivot, but I think he's going to be a bit more of an 8 for City. To be honest with you, who's going to pitch in both this respect and this respect. To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if we see Reijnders play sometimes at the CAM this season coming, and it wouldn't surprise me if he even dips into here when needed. Depending on injuries, and even if just Pep thinks that's where he'd prefer him. Weaknesses: aerial duels and tackling. It is something, we could use a bit of help in this regard. A strong double pivot with people good at tackling the ball would be good. But again, this can be trained into him. He's going to be playing in a squad with some of the best footballers in the world, the best midfielder in the world, Rodri, the Ballon d'Or. So he's going to be able to learn from Rodri. He's going to be able to learn from other players too in our stacked team. You've got to remember, all the stats you see here are stats that he got playing in a team, AC Milan, who were really not at the races last season. It was not a season to remember for AC Milan, not too sure on the league position, but they weren't the best. But Reijnders is that shining light, I feel, for them. He's the one guy that started almost every game for him, played 4,500 minutes, an incredible number of minutes, got a ton of goal contributions in a team like that too. So Reijnders is going to be playing around with bigger players now, better players, and who knows, he may even get more goal contributions depending on the freedom that he gets. Now then, speaking of playing with better players, let's actually have a look at the squad that we could see him around. Now, you've seen this 11 multiple times. It is the standard 11 I make. Shirky up there, Nari there, and Reijnders here. Of course, we're going to be looking at Reijnders, though, today. Look, I mean, the great thing is about Reijnders, like I quite rightly mentioned, he can play here if we needed to. So let's say we went to a 4-3-3, he can play the 8. Now, I'm not going to lie, I think in this pivot he's going to be playing a bit more of an 8 anyway. Don't be surprised if we're set up a little bit like that. He'll definitely be pitching in playing forward, helping Marmoush get through, even Haaland, even whilst down here, he can do that and even pitch it through to Shirky too. He probably, and the great thing is about this position for City, they tend to have the pitch open to them. Like, they do tend to ping the ball where they like. We've seen Rodri ping it to his left-handers right before. They're not locked down to passing it in one area. Despite the Marmoush ball probably being easier for Reijnders, it's not too difficult for him to go to Foden either. Aït-Nouri, for example, he's got to do a big switch of the play to get it to Phil. But Reijnders, it won't be so bad, if you ask me. But again, it's not just about him being able to play here, him being able to play here. He can even play at the cam if we ever so need him to. If injuries are that bad, Shirky's out, Foden's out, Marmoush is out. If injuries do get to a point like that, we have Reijnders who can play in that position. He's offering versatility. If you know Pep, he loves players that can play multiple positions to a good level. That is genuinely probably one of Pep's favourite things, not including midfielders. But let's actually go over to his stats page now. Here we go. Now, again, these guys in the transfer market saying they can fill in any position in the midfield. The fee, great if you ask me. Slightly cheaper than Calvin Phillips, believe it or not. Slightly cheaper than Calvin Phillips, which is just mental. No, slightly more expensive even. Again, goal contributions, 20 GNA. 15 goals, which is, I think, over double more than he's ever gotten in a single season. 5 assists to go on top. Like I just mentioned, 4,500 minutes. Just look how much he was in the squad too. Champions League, 100% of the time. Serie A, 95% of the time. Only missed a game because he got sent off in the game. Italian Cup, he was in 100% of the time as well, completing most of the minutes. And even in the Supercoppa Italia, he was in the squad for the minutes too. Again, just absolutely crucial. The fact that the lowest amount of starting 11 he was in was 92. Played 97% of the Champions League minutes. Truly insane, the amount of minutes this guy got put into. Now then, injury history, sparkly clean. One injury, which was only ended up missing one game. Hardly an injury if you ask me, but oh well. And even his he's pretty good for yellows too. And position where he does play, you can see players in that area pick up a good few cards. Well, I know he picked up a red, but no cards on the Champions League, 2 in Serie A, 1 in the Supercoppa Italia. 1 in the Italy Cup and none in the Supercoppa Italia. Only picked up 3 yellow cards and 1 red for the whole season. So, fair play. Just shows that he either gets it all right or he doesn't dive into many big challenges like that. He's quite clever with them. But look, for me, the main thing Reijnders is going to be providing is the option. It's going to be also providing an actual strong partner to play alongside Rodri. Rodri has not had to put up with, but his options ain't been great for times he has played at City. Don't get me wrong, playing alongside Gundo in treble season, obviously to his liking. Gundo's top, but Calvin Phillips not cut out to be. Mateus Nunes, he can't crack it either in that pivot. It's a very difficult position for any player to come into this double pivot. But I think if there's anyone who's going to be able to do it, I think it is Reijnders. For me, he's the most important signing. It even means if Rodri gets out injured, I'm not going to say we're going to be absolutely fine, but it means we still got someone competent. Okay, I'm not saying play Nunes there, but you know what I am saying. We've got someone competent that's still there to do the trick. Fix up our spillages. Now, if they both get injured, then we're in trouble. But hopefully, we're not in a world where we have to worry about that. But we'll wait and see on that regard. But again, injury crises in the midfield. If we're struggling for goals in the attack, he's going to be providing them with Rodri. Rodri pulls in his fair share of goal contributions as well. Again, there is a world, by the way, I just want to say, assuming we're back up to our races, there is a world where Rodri and Reijnders have a combined GNA of 40 from the DM role. Yeah. There is a world where that exists. And don't be surprised if you see it. If you see it, it's two of the best midfielders in their respective positions playing alongside each other. But again, Reijnders is the best midfielder in the Serie A, or was, I should say now. He got awarded it. And playing for an AC Milan team, which was stinking up the park a bit. He was absolutely carrying them, is what I hear some people say. Believe what you will, though. Hopefully, all this talk I'm doing, he's going to be able to do it on the pitch. Big ups to you all, though, Blues. If you enjoyed this video, there is more on the way, so make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn the notification bell so that you don't miss the next one. I'll see you all in the next one.